So what have you got there, Michael?
So this is one of our tubular gel lead acid batteries. These things have been around for decades now. That's one of the reasons why the big companies like Telstra and the other big telcos use them in their remote locations. They are simply a reliable piece of kit. Once they get installed, they're going to sit there, they're going to last for a long, long time. So, like any other battery, they've got a positive terminal and a negative terminal. This vent in the middle, it's not like the old battery that you've got running your car or truck. This one doesn't require liquid in it, doesn't require maintenance. This is a completely maintenance-free battery. So you can, if you like, lay it on its side, sit it on its end, do it whichever way you like. They simply are a maintenance-free, very, very durable piece of equipment. Now this is only a 2-volt battery. Each one of these cells, and as you can see in this box, there's 24. So combined together, wired together with these big strong straps, you'll end up with a 48-volt battery. This is very efficient because it's a lot less of a drama getting from 48 volts up to 240 than it is to, say, go from 12 volts. Keeps the whole thing a lot more manageable. Big, heavy, solid, reliable, that's what these are really about. Most people, generally speaking, want to know that their batteries are going to do the job, they're going to last the distance, and not going to be a problem. So although they're not the latest high-tech, they're not falling over like some of the latest high-techs are doing. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at this in detail later on, but essentially you've got the main part of the inverter here, you've got all the control gear, the switches and so forth to isolate batteries and the solar panels and your 240 volts in and out, because this is what is called a 4-quadrant inverter. So interestingly enough, we've got a set of switches for each one of the 4 quadrants so that they can be independently isolated by us or by any other reason. Then from there, it goes down through a connection panel where all the connections are made in the bottom here, all safely tucked away where little fingers can't get to them. And then the power cables go down to the batteries, which are stored in here. So, this whole 4-quadrant thing, what it's about quite simply is, if you divided this inverter into 4, you've got one part that deals with the batteries, and so you've got a battery switch for that. You've got another part that talks to the solar panels on the roof. And in this case, we've got 2 separate switches for that, because we can have panels facing in different directions, and each one will be sorted out by these 2 different array switches. Then we have protection for the power that's going to be generated. Inside this box, it's going to turn either battery power or solar power into 240 volts to run all your appliances in the house. And that's controlled by this, so you can switch that on or off at will. And then the last one is to talk to the grid. If you're in a grid connected area, then this will go back through your meter up to the grid, and it will control whether the power comes into your system from that. The interesting thing about it is, whereas old-fashioned inverters, solar inverters, if the grid went down, the whole system shut off. In this, because it's a true 4-quadrant inverter, if the grid goes down, all the rest of it just keeps running. This is a very smart little machine that can do that. If you don't have a grid, if for example you're using this unit on a bush block somewhere, you're away from the grid, not a problem. You can have a generator hooked in on that same line to give you that extra power in if you might need it. Because, if you got lousy weather for a few days, then obviously the solar panels are not going to be producing enough for the house, and the batteries will have run down a bit. You're going to need to turn on your generator. And that's what you do. You just go and turn on your generator. The power runs through this unit, provided it's a decent generator. It'll run through, it'll not only run your house, it'll recharge your batteries. So after a few hours, which you generally do in the middle of the day, charge up your batteries, get your system running again, then you can switch it off. You don't have to put up with generator noise overnight or anything like that, because you will have sized your battery bank big enough to handle a day or two even without the sun there. With a 4-quadrant inverter, so long as it's got any 2 bits working, they'll work. So the solar can go down into the batteries if nothing else is attached. The batteries can head off to power up the grid if you want it to, or to power your house, whichever you choose. And this inverter is smart enough that allows you to quite literally jump on your mobile phone, dial into here essentially, talk to your inverter and say, don't send any power out between these hours and those hours, or you can say only buy power when it's cheap. So if we get the sums right when we design the system for you, we're going to design it so that pretty much all of your surplus solar power gets stored into your batteries and will last you through the night comfortably until the sun comes up and provides you with some more. So it's all a matter of sitting down and doing your homework first, get the system right in the first place, buy the right gear, have it installed properly, and you're laughing.